The case of the three shops in Cognac. It was the eve of a bank holiday in Cognac, the town where Pierre had spent his childhood vacations, and the square buzzed with a street fair. Accordion strains mingled with laughter as stalls brimmed with candied apples and wooden toys. Pierre recognized a familiar face among the vendors, Mr. Dumas, the owner of the old candy stand who used to sell him caramels as a child. Monsieur Dumas, Pierre exclaimed with a smile. Pierre Durand? Mon Dieu, how you've grown, Mr. Dumas replied, visibly moved. They spoke for a few minutes. Pierre remarked on how much the town had changed, pointing out 3 cheek-by-jowl storefronts, a gardening shed brimming with shovels, a locksmith's gilded display of locks, and a grit and cement supplier. Mr. Dumas smiled, though a flicker of concern crossed his face. Ah, mon garçon, those shops aren't the only new developments. We've been feeling small tremors throughout the day. Tremors? Since when? Pierre asked, instantly alert. About 3 months now, ever since those shops moved in. At that moment, a local policeman approached to buy a candied apple. Good morning, Officer Remy, Pierre said casually. Mr. Dumas chuckled. One of the few things that never changes in this town is Officer Remy. Always present, always kind. Remy smiled nostalgically. You know, this square always brings back memories. It was my first week on the job, 30 years ago, when some fool tried to rob the bank with a rusty pistol and no plan. We caught him before he even made it past the teller. That was the only real adventure this town ever saw. Pierre paused, observing the fresh shop fronts, the men coming and going, the sacks of earth and tools. Pierre raised an eyebrow. Do those new shops get much business? Mr. Dumas shrugged. Only the gardening shop. People buy a lot of earth lately. The others, almost no customers. Pierre said, if we want to keep that spotless record, we need to investigate the gardening store. The officer's eyes widened. But you're saying the shop is part of a plan to rob the bank? That's serious. He scratched his head, nervous. Without a warrant from a judge, I can't do anything officially. I'd need concrete evidence. We don't have time to wait for warrants, Pierre said urgently. The robbery will likely take place tonight. Let's go speak directly with the bank's owner. The banker, a stern traditionalist, welcomed them into his home, and after some hesitation, the banker agreed to let the police hide in the bank's basement that night. Remy, 3 other policemen, and Pierre waited in silence near the vault. At 2 a.m, they heard a faint crack, followed by the sound of a wall being breached. When the thieves finally broke through the wall on the vault's floor, the police sprang into action. Remy barked orders, and they cuffed 4, the garden shop owner, the builder, the locksmith in the tunnel, and the driver in the getaway car. After the arrests, Jean Lambert of the newspaper Le Petit Cognac approached Pierre. What made you suspect a robbery? The tremors, Pierre replied. They began after those 3 shops opened. One sold digging tools, another materials to support a tunnel, and the last had expertise in locks. Even the soil was smuggled out as fake sales. And they're all beside the bank. The reporter frowned. But how did you know it would be tonight? I didn't, said Pierre. But the night before a banking holiday? It's the perfect time. The banker shook his hand. Thanks to you, our vault, and the town's confidence, remain intact. We'll honor you at the bank tomorrow. Officer Remy, in his final week before retirement, stepped forward. Monsieur Durand, you've kept Cognac free of bank robberies, and you've given me the last real thrill of my career. I can't thank you enough. I did it all for Monsieur Dumas. He has an account here, and I couldn't risk him not having funds to make my favorite childhood sweets, Pierre said softly. Sometimes, you just need to listen to what the town is telling you, even when it whispers through the faintest grumbles of the earth. Pierre adjusted his beret and smiled quietly as he gazed at his photograph displayed with pride in the Employee of the Month frame, the word eternally inscribed beneath it. The end.